Hey, what's up, guys? Up here. So today we're looking at another Twitter user who effed around and found out, reaped what they have sown, whatever phrase you find best for this situation. We have an artist who literally imploded their career in real time all over the subject of fictional content. Now, this quote is always relevant, and I like to show it whenever I can. So it says this: people on this app will treat fictional characters as if they were real people and then talk about real people as if they were fictional and then get mad at you for knowing the difference. There's an absolute epidemic on places like Twitter where people have more respect for fictional characters than they do real human beings. They will treat those fictional characters with more delicacy, more care than they do for an actual human being. It's insane how far a lot of this has gone. Now, today, like I said, we're going to be focusing on an artist who has been for years going around harassing, bullying, canceling, and all other sorts of bad things directed towards other artists over the subject of fictional content. And as you already can tell, they're making basically the same stuff they're judging other people for. And recently they bit off way more than they could chew. So who are we talking about today? Well, we featured this account multiple times before on this channel because this person is an infamous anti. Yes, a not safe for work artist who's also an anti who harasses and cancels people over fictional content. And in fact, this user in particular literally will call you a loser for making not safe for work content. Make it make sense. This is a very strange breed of artists out there who cancel others over fictional content. You would think, of all people, artists would have the most respect towards other people's artwork, and they'd be the last person to cancel someone over fictional content or to try to cancel or censor people. But no, it's actually very popular on Twitter. That's just the way the site is. So who are we talking about? Well, as you can see, their alternate account here is not doing great. They changed their name to discontinued account, and it's private. And then the main account that they moved to recently, well, you can see it's not loading up because they have deactivated that account after taking a whooping on the timeline because they bit off more than they could chew. So before we get into the recent stuff, let's get the history behind this individual, this noodle shop Ken's person, whatever name they go by at any given time. They were featured on this channel because of these posts. Sorry if they're a little bit blurry. These are just screenshots, obviously, because their account is deactivated, but this is from my old files. So you can see they quoted this artist making a artwork based on the Cheeton mascot that used to be really popular on Twitter. And they quoted that artist saying, "I mean this in the nicest way possible. Can we not do this?" And they got almost 200,000 likes before deleting this post due to backlash. And obviously this got the artist harassed here because God forbid they make fun artwork of this mascot. And you can see their further reply saying, not every single thing needs to be sexualized. If you make the "it's the internet" excuse, genuinely, you are a effing loser. Remember, this is the not safe for work artist telling you that not everything needs to be sexualized in these sorts of memes like this with the Cheeton mascot. But they also added this in response to criticism of that previous post, saying, "Unfortunately, a banger, lol. Say what you want about my art, but if y'all ain't got no problem with this kind of art being the result of a literal baby river otter, that's cool with me. Just don't bring up the art I make of adults." That would age very poorly, especially that last part, but also they're implying that the artist that we just looked at was making not safe for work arts of something that's not an adult, which is a pretty serious thing to say. Also, they're saying that making like a human underneath the mascot is too far, but if they, I guess, depicted it as an actual otter, it would have been fine. This is a furry artist too, by the way, so I don't really know what they were going for here, but you can see there's a lot of contempt for their own peers, and they also try to cancel that artist throughout this whole thing too. They try to claim that previous artist was a racist because of this Hestia art where they swapped out with a different Hestia character and basically took over the outfit with Hestia from the anime Danmachi. Absolutely nothing racist about that whatsoever, but they try to do this. They got on their high horse, and as you can see, yeah, they go willy-nilly with all sorts of accusations over drawings. And now we're going to transition here to the present. We're talking about Marvel Rivals. We somehow got here, right? Everyone likes Marvel Rivals. It's a big hit. But unfortunately, it's suffering from success. It's gone very mainstream, it's getting a lot of attention, and when these sorts of games get a lot of attention, it brings in a lot of annoying people, and people want to virtue signal about stuff going on in the game. And one subject that people have been virtue signaling about is the character Peni Parker. So people are going around trying to cancel people who are showing any sort of interest in this character. They're saying that you're a predator and you're a bad person, all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. Nothing new here. This is Twitter. But of course, things have gotten so serious with this whole debate about Peni Parker that apparently the lead dev and creator of Luna Snow has now come out and confirmed that Peni Parker is not a minor in Marvel Rivals, because apparently they felt the need to do this because people were being so annoying about it. You can see they say Penny is 18, high schooler in this world. So yeah, I guess we now know. We can all sleep easy now knowing that this fictional character has an age set. Thank God. But of course, people on Twitter are melting down over that. You can see some of the replies on a similar post announcing this. These people saying, you still need to be out on a list if you're attracted to her. She is not 18. Even the devs can't gaslight me. Well, apparently to this individual, age is just a number. It's very odd how these people fight so hard to make everything not really matter in terms of age of characters and stuff like that. Don't you find that very strange that they have that sort of mentality about age just being a number? It's more about how they feel. And in this case, we're not just talking about a fictional character, but we're also saying that the dev is wrong. You won't even trust what the dev says? Crazy. This person says, I don't give a F. She looks 12. Projection. This person said, it's all okay now, guys. Y'all aren't pedos. Just weird-ass groomers. Oh, grooming a fictional character. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one before. That's pretty insane. 18 is a minor, dude. What? This person circling teen, not understanding that 18. Twitter gives me a headache, man. But anyways, of course, as pointed out here, a series of tweets made by our main artist here would not age well. So what are we talking about? So they, of course, had to chime in on this whole Peni Parker situation with this original tweet captioned, "The hips that saved Marvel," of course, referring to her hips. And he quotes him saying, "Roster full of adult women in this game. You actually have a disease." Wow, bold claims coming from this individual, but even bolder right here, saying in quotes, "She might be an adult," end quote, "and she might not be. You might be a pedophile." That's a very aggressive thing to say over Peni Parker from Marvel Rivals. Now, unfortunately, we've been kind of building this up for a while here, but things would start to go affray. So they would get hit with probably one of the funniest community notes I've ever seen. It says this user has drawn poontang of underage characters from the show Avatar: The Last Airbender and Yo Gabba Gabba. Huh? Not Yo Gabba Gabba. Jeez Louise. Well, they're not kidding. So brace yourself. You might need some bleach for your eyes after this one. This is just from my previous files I had making videos on this guy. This is just a small snapshot of what he's up to. Obviously, without access to his accounts, I don't really have much else to work with here, but I think there's plenty, okay? You can see he's retweeting not safe for work art of My Hero Academia characters all aged around like 15. You can see on his own Rule 34 section, he has 3 entries of not safe for work art of the character Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender, who is 12 in that series. You also have another character who's 14 from that same series. But this is where it gets interesting because he also really likes to do self-inserts of his own OC. So she's given some handwork to his OC there, which is a wild thing to happen because he's the one calling people predators over liking Peni Parker because he believes she's actually a minor. And then you also had the self-insert with Hatsune Miku, who's also canonically underage. And then I don't even like sitting next to this one. That's Yo Gabba Gabba. And he's self-inserting, no pun intended, in that shot as well. Yeah, tough one. Tough watch here. But yeah, this guy's become so infamous, and this was around the time he deactivated because he was getting clowned on really hard. But there was also some other controversy with him. He was like trying to say that Marvel rival characters weren't sexualized enough, the male ones or something like that. I don't know. It's all a graveyard at this point of deleted tweets, but this is how infamous this whole thing with the Yo Gabba Gabba stuff is, because you have this tweet quoting a Yo Gabba Gabba performance at Coachella, and they say that one artist foaming at the mouth right now. 102,000 likes. 102,000 people at minimum understood what this reference was and the artist being referred to. That's crazy. That's your legacy, and that is an insane legacy to have. And this was like the last tweet that they made. It's the last thing I could find. It's a screenshot of it saying, "My life is hell, man. I wish I never effing drew that shit." Well, unfortunately, the internet's forever, and you know what? You could draw whatever you want. You could draw your Yo Gabba Gabba stuff as much as your heart desires, I guess. It's weird, but it's your right to do so. But you can't really do it when you're going around attacking, harassing, canceling, and all sorts of other bad things directed towards artists when you do this stuff yourself, if not worse than whatever you're trying to chastise others over. This is just kind of effing around and finding out, and unfortunately, this tweet just rings true once again. These people treat fictional characters better than actual human beings. They have no regard for what happens to these people, how these slanderous accusations can actually hurt someone, all in the name of defending fictional characters that they believe are inappropriate to have any interest in, despite the fact they do the exact same thing themselves. Can't people just enjoy Marvel rivals, man? Like, is it really that hard? You got to get into this whole discussion about Peni Parker, and eventually that contributes to your downfall as an artist. If they come back, I don't know. They might. They've done this like 2 or 3 times before. Well, we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.